As athletes are in their final preparations for the upcoming Paralympic Games in Beijing, monoskier Andrew Kurka recently picked up a bronze medal in the downhill and a bronze in the giant slalom in Norway this past week. Welcome, Andrew. You must be feeling pretty good about those results as Beijing comes a little closer into sight.
I really am. And it's especially kind of refreshing to know that I'm still at the top tier of my competition globally heading into these games, because I was away for 2 years competing, or, away from competition for 2 years due to COVID. So it's nice to, come back and then know that I'm still in there. I'm still competitive with those who have been consistently competing.
Andrew, I was watching a couple of videos on you on your Facebook webpage, and it's pretty impressive the way you ski. So, I've done some novice skiing, some intermediate level skiing, and I can always remember those instructors yelling in your ear, stay on a flat edge, trust the hill. Well, you do all those things to perfection. I swear, man, they ought to nickname you Dr. Smooth, because you stay on that flat edge, on the flat part of the ski, you don't catch an edge too much, and you follow a perfect line down the hill. Is that something you've worked a lot on?
It's not perfect 100% of the time.
And it never is.
Bronze. Yeah, hence the bronze medal. But achieving and aspiring for perfection is what I do as an athlete. That's what I do as a competitor, and that's what I strive for in my journey. So I would say that I achieve it more often than not, the goal that I'm striving for, with the perfect edge and riding the right line down the hill to try to get to where I want to be. Hence the medals. But there's still room for growth, and I will happily say that I'm not as perfect as I hope to be one day.
I'm looking at some of the equipment that you guys are using now, and it's really pretty fascinating. I mean, even for you, who's been through a couple of Paralympics, you have to have seen growth too. So the one thing I noticed with your ski is you've got a really, really state-of-the-art carbon fiber ski. It encompasses and holds your body in place so that you can move with more stability. Tell me a little bit about the current, most modern state-of-the-art monoski.
Well, I can't tell you completely about it right now because I am under contract to keep it quiet. I will tell you that it is modern, state of the art. It's about as awesome and about as nice as it gets. And it's really helped me to stay consistent and fluid in my competition. So the secret to ski racing is minimizing mistakes when you're going down the mountain. So as an athlete, you're competing against both your equipment, you're competing against the mountain, and then you're competing against nature and kind of what it has to throw at you. And the sit ski that I have, state of the art, made and developed by Toyota, assists me with all of those things. It makes it smooth, it makes it consistent, it makes it comfortable. And it doesn't feel like I'm going as fast as what I really am. And so there's still a little bit of room for me to customize it to myself, because it's state of the art, it's brand new, it's a very, very cool monoski. But there's still a little bit of room for improvement.
If you had to take a stab, what would you think something like that would cost to the average public?
It would be very expensive.
As in tens of thousands of dollars?
Yes.
Okay, so here's a good question for you. In the Summer Paralympics, we had a track athlete who had a carbon chair, and there was a whole lot of barking about it because it really was a very beautiful state-of-the-art chair that was somewhere in the $30,000 range. So do you go through the same things in the Winter Paralympics with the monoskis, where I don't know if you want to call it jealousy or envy, but do you have people who scrutinize you for having top of the line equipment?
Less as much, I feel like, because the equipment, yes, determines your performance, but still, it really determines on what you do as an athlete. So less so in wheelchair racing, a few pounds can make a huge difference over time. In a sit ski, you still have to ski it well as an athlete. And not just that, but, in the power sport that I do, in downhill skiing, people are always constantly looking for an edge, and to keep things on a level playing field, if you have an item that is unique to you, it has to be for sale for everyone. So this Toyota Sitsuki, if someone wishes to buy it, they can contact Toyota and they can request a price or a quote to try to get themselves one. It would not be cheap by any means. It helps to be a sponsored athlete for certain.
Andrew, for sure, I noticed that though. Well, it's obvious that with the outdoor conditions, it's never predictable. You could get up one day and be skiing powder. The next day it could be very cold and you could be on icy, an icy terrain. How many different skis do you typically bring to a competition? And at what point will you finally make your final decision before you strap on that last ski?
So when it comes to using a ski, we are limited by FIS and IPC rules. So in downhill, we have to use a 210 plus or minus 5. I personally choose 218 downhill ski, 50-meter downhill ski, because I like to choose gliding. So there's a few different aspects that can help to give you an advantage or a disadvantage with skis when you choose them, just like there's a few advantages or disadvantages when you're choosing bindings. But when it comes to racing down the course, you don't use powder skis ever because it's not legal. You use race skis, and race skis are faster. But when it comes down to it, I travel with a variety of different skis that are good for the conditions and good for the situation. I usually pick my skis a little bit on the larger side because that helps me to accelerate and gather speed.
I can see that your favorite events seem to be the downhill, the GS, maybe the Super G also. So I think in some way that qualifies you as being, I don't know, somewhat a daredevil in the sport to a degree, because these are pretty harrowing events. Do you have any knowledge of maybe the top speed you've ever hit in a downhill event ever?
My top speed in a downhill event is right around 70 miles an hour. My top speed ever clocked is 86 miles an hour. That was actually getting pulled behind a snow machine at Arctic Man in Alaska. So we definitely go as fast as we can. You have techs that travel with you that tune and sharpen your edges and that manage the wax that goes underneath your skis. And then there's also different layers of wax that help to keep you fast in certain sections of the course. So downhill, which is my specialty, which is kind of the daredevil specialty, or the speed specialty, which is where you average 60 to 70 miles an hour throughout most courses and most instances in the courses. When you're traveling on this, you're traveling at least 3,000 feet vertical. So when you're traveling, you're going through different layers and different temperatures and sunny spots and flat spots and steep spots. And so there's multiple different layers of wax that a tech needs to tune into your ski that helps you to get that advantage. And even if it's 1 mile an hour faster, 1 mile an hour faster over 40 different turns, can equal a second. It can equal a lot. It's all about consistency. And like I mentioned earlier, consistency with yourself, with the mountain, and with the conditions that are thrown at you.
So you're getting off the ski lift and you're making your way to the starting gate. What is the process that you go through to accept the possibility of going that fast, or the fear of crashing, or one of a number of other different things? Do you have a personal sort of methodology that you go through that gets you to the gate and makes you such a successful racer?
I would say yes. First of all, I'm fearless. And I've been accused of being fearless multiple different times. But really, it's not the fact that I'm fearless. It's the fact that I consider myself to be ultra focused. So we inspect the course prior to running it. We look at it. We look at different lines. We look at different terrains. We look at where we can get our advantage over our competition when we're out there and when we're competing. And I remember those minute facts. I remember those different instances. I remember exactly where I can get my advantage, exactly where I can win. And I am ultra focused on those little things when I get into the start gate. And I'm very relaxed. I'm very whistling. I'm very calm. You know, I try to like find my zen. I whistle when I'm in the start. I'm chill. I'm communicating. I'm doing everything, but I'm also reviewing the course in my mind. And then when it comes time to push out of the start gate, I'm as chill, as calm, and as confident as I can be. And then once I hear the ding, 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 that is when all of those little moments and everything kind of rush to me very quickly. And as I'm on the course, I'm calm, I'm concise, and I'm right where I want to be. I'm as focused as I can be to just try to make sure that I'm accomplishing every little bit that I can, you know, that I'm like, okay, there's this terrain here. Okay, this is where I can get my advantage. Okay, I'm competing here. And it's not like it comes at you in slow motion. It comes at you very fast. But the more calm you are, the more you can manage and assess it. Like I still have adrenaline, but I'm calm and I'm assessing the situation.
Andrew, awesome insights. I want to thank you very much. You got a gold in Pyeongchang in the downhill, a silver in the Super G, and I wish you nothing but the best as you approach Beijing. Thanks, man.
Thank you.